hard to get away from Noonan.
Look, he's going to get all the auto attacks into. It is just useless to try and run.
Gold card, damn it! Tail picks up, only Boy's alive.
A three-person ball breaker! Wow, coming in huge, shocking off from Counter Logic Gaming, as it's been told. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Day 2, Week 7 of the North American League Championship Series Summer Split. We've got a packed house here in Los Angeles and an action-packed day of games coming your way. I'm Rivington Bislin III, and joining me at the caster desk for our first 3 matches today is none other than the Sam Kobe Harmon Kensler.
And we've got 6 more games today for the teams to battle it out on the most competitive North American LCS that we have ever had.
True story, Kobe. And for the time being, we have a team in sole possession of first place, but only by the narrowest of margins.
Yeah, with that 2-0 start in Super Week, CLG was able to move ahead of Dignitas with a half-game buffer. Each team is going to play 4 games this week, so first place is still hotly contested, especially since LMQ, TSM, Curse, and Evil Geniuses all play twice today.
Yeah.
So expect a lot more shakeups.
A lot of them, indeed. One honor that won't be shared by anyone else, however, is going to CLG's Doublelift as of yesterday.
Yeah, Doublelift became the first player in the North American LCS to rack up 500 career kills in regular season play, and he did it in 100 games exactly. Of course, he accepted the title of Mr. 500 with typical Doublelift modesty.
Also, congratulate you on your 500th regular season kill in 100 games. You're the first player in the North American LCS to do so. How does it feel?
Oh boy, cool. That's awesome. I'm the best. I already knew that.
So humble.
I already knew that. To give you something to compare that to, let's take a look at the North American LCS career kills leaderboard. Wild Turtle is in second, and he has 81 fewer kills in 15 fewer games.
And of course, it was the most buzzed about play on Twitter with hashtag LCS Big Plays.
Yeah, at Casher Z writes, Doublelift getting his 500th regular season kill, just 0.1 seconds left in the game. Absolutely phenomenal. Doublelift with your buzzer beater is number 1.
Doublelift looking for his 12th kill, his 500th kill of the LCS. Looks like he's not going to get it. He'll have to wait for the next game. Sneaky. Oh!
Oh!
He gets it!
He got it! At the buzzer!
500 kills for Doublelift.
Wow!
Gotta keep reaching for the stars.
Aframu was sitting there in the binding with the hand raised from Braum.
He was getting
One
ready.
hit on that neck.
But he's a good bro. Remember, don't be stingy. Share your favorite plays of the day by tweeting us at LOL Esports and using the hashtag LCS Big Plays. So here's now how the standings look through day 1 of Super Week. In first place, it's Counter Logic Gaming after their 2-0 start to Super Week.
In second, it's Dignitas, followed by LMQ and TSM, who are tied for number 3. Then dropping to 5th place is Cloud9.
And Curse holds 6th place by themselves, while Complexity and Evil Geniuses are once again tied for 7th. And here's a look at today's schedule. It's a big one. We will be kicking things off with Dignitas against Team Solo Mid. Then it's Complexity versus the Geniuses that are evil.
After that, Shower Shao and LMQ will battle it out with Curse, followed by Evil Geniuses versus TSM, and Cloud9 taking on Curse.
And then we will conclude our day with Counter Logic Gaming versus LMQ. So make sure you head over to lolesports.com, lock in the teams you're predicting to win today. Just click on schedule, select week 7, and start casting your votes.
Also there, you can read up on all your favorite team, find stats, and rewatch every single game from this year. Or throw on your Teemo hat and join us here in the studio for an upcoming game day taping.
Indeed.
You can get your picture taken with the pros or cheer on your favorite team to victory. Just click on that tickets link for all the details.
And first things first, let's head over to Twitter and share your thoughts on our question over the day. We want to know which NALCS team has improved the most since the beginning of the split and why. Show your work. It's a tough one, so give it a good think.
Yeah, then just write us to @LO Esports and use that hashtag LCS so that we can find your answers in the digital ether. And be sure to show your work because the answers are due by the end of Game 3 for full credit.
That's right. But now to preview today's action, let's send it over to Dash and Zyrene, who are joined by two very special guests.
Thanks, Riv. Now we're gearing up for a huge first match. So to help us set the stage, we've got TSM's coach, Loco Doko, and Dig's coach, Skara. And guys, last time these two teams met, there was a lot of hype around it. So give me a little bit of a sense of what the behind the scenes was from the bowl bet of 2014.
You want to open this off, Loco?
No, you can start.
Okay, well, pretty much Loco was saying that he thought he'd win the game, and I challenged him over Twitter to bet a bowl cut on it. And so what happened was, of course, we won, because that's just what happened. And he had to go get a bowl cut. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it because I had to wake up like too early to do it. But I assumed he would get a bowl cut that would be legit. And so just so happened that his bowl cut is not very well cut.
Whoa,
To say.
So
Well, Bjergsen cut it, so what were you expecting?
I came to the studio, I lost the bet, and I let the hair lady at it and Bjergsen at it, and they gave me this cut. So
Right.
Let's
Let's just say they were very
Hairstylist
generous
approved.
with it. Yeah, they were very, very generous with it.
All right, all right.
All right. Well, right now we're seeing a parity in the North American LCS that we haven't seen before. And Scar, I saw a tweet of yours yesterday where you were talking about all the top teams, all the teams in the LCS have strengths. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
It's kind of just before, like at the start of the split, I was really worried for a lot of the bottom tier teams, and just in the mid tier teams as well. Like I wasn't really sure how they were going to improve and evolve with the split, but it seems like everyone has a good idea of how they want to play. And it wasn't like last season or seasons prior where everyone was like, wow, like chasing C9's coattails, so to speak. Like everyone was like, C9 has this kind of play style, like they do the rotation game really well, and let's try to learn how to out-rotate them. And that's like, no one beat them at their own game when they were playing it. And now everyone is trying to evolve and play the game at their own style, at their own pace. It allows for different teams to have different strengths at different parts of the games. Their draft phases, a lot of draft phases now, like sometimes you'll see wins and losses in draft, but most of the times you'll see a team get what they want and the other team gets what they want. And both the team comps are like pretty decent. So before you see everyone hotly contest maybe the same picks, and that's still true today, but I would say that at least everyone coming out of draft and coming into each game has a good idea of how they want to win, and maybe not how to do it, but definitely like a general idea of how to play out the game.
Yeah, they have their win conditions down
Right.
for the most part. And Loco, what are your impressions of the parity that's going on?
well, it's mostly a lot of the teams getting infrastructure, and then now that they all have good coaches and good infrastructure, that part was really lacking last season because only CLG had a coach, XDG had a coach, and a few other teams had a coach. But now that every team has a coach and infrastructure, they have a really good game plan going into the game. And mechanically, there isn't a huge disparity. And now that the infrastructure is caught up for all the teams, there's not that much, I guess, like skill difference overall. So the teams are really close in standings.
All right, well, building on that idea of parity and strengths, I want to know specifically from the two of you which teams you view to be your greatest challengers or something that you need to overcome during the split. Scar, we'll start with you.
That's an interesting one. I think that notoriously CLG has given us a lot of issues this split. A lot of times I feel like it's just our fault and that we tend to feel very pressured into doing something and then we do something really dumb. And so it's not so much that they win the game, it's that we let them win and we give it to them. Like we like just hand it to them on a plate. And so that's going to be something that we're going to try really hard not to do. And I think they are probably one of the hardest opponents we'll have this split.
All right, Loco, thoughts on that as well?
For us, it's mostly CLG and C9. Versus other teams, I feel like we have better late game decision making, and I don't feel pressure to put a team on a timer comp, like a team comp where if you don't win mid game, then we lose late game. Versus CLG and C9, I get really afraid if the game goes past 40 minutes, so we often play timer comps where if you can't end the game mid-game, then it goes bad for us.
All right. And since we talked a little bit about coaching, I want to touch on that even more. You were talking about the infrastructure earlier. There aren't a lot of forerunners in the coaching role, and you came over from Korea and you drew some inspiration from there. And Scar, you've been here in NA honing your coaching skills. Where are you guys drawing your inspiration from? What coaches do you look up to, and how have you crafted your own style? Loco, we'll start with you.
For me, I've been on a lot of teams, and I worked with a lot of different coaches. So whatever worked for me, I try to do for them, or I try to be a coach like that. So I just try to be a coach, the kind of coach I wanted as a player. I try to be that.
And Scar?
For me, it's like it's a learning process. Like I feel like, especially in the Western scene, there wasn't really much for me to look up to because there really wasn't a coach that lived in with the team. So I had to do a lot of like learning on my own, and it wasn't so much structured from other coaches, but rather just from like maybe what other sports have done with a lot of help from other people. And so I've just been gradually gaining information throughout both my experience and other people's experiences and trying to combine it to become like a good coach.
Yeah, you guys are both trailblazers in that regard. And I want to ask you a follow-up here. If you could describe your coaching style so far in one word, what would that word be? We'll start with you, Scar.
Why can't you start with him on this one?
Give you a little bit of time to think about it. That's fine.
I think my coaching style is very...
You can use a sentence. I won't use a word.
I don't even have a word or a sentence to describe it.
How about really good?
I'll say it's effective.
Effective.
Okay.
There it is.
I would say personalized. I coach differently for all 5 of the players because they need different things.
That's a much better.
Scar's like, oh, I got to take it that way.
He got me. All right. Well, we talked to the players about this a lot. The idea of prepping for a super week. You've got more games, less time. Now, in the role of a coach, what can you do to help alleviate some of that pressure and keep them focused on the game at hand and what their strategies are going into each game? Loco?
For me, I do almost the majority of the pick and bans. So at the start of the week, we have like 7 different comps that we want to run. And then early in the week, we try all 7. And then I cut ones out that I don't feel like we're going to be able to master by the end of the week. And then we go into Super Week with 5 comps that we want to run. And then during the week, like depending on what we showed and what the other team shows, I choose what comp we want to run, and then we just run that.
We do a little bit of a more flexible plan. We go into the week, again, with a bunch of different ideas, and we cut the ideas down as the game goes. I don't think we have as many built around comps as, let's say, 5 or their TSM has, but we have very specific general ideas on how to win the game with specific champions and specific shells.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for your answers and for spending time on the desk with us. Good luck to your teams in the games coming up this weekend. We're going to jump into that first game, Dignitas versus TSM, after a quick break. So grab a snack, settle in for the day, and the North American LCS will be back after this.